These are a few of my favorite things about trustees. This is my favorite time of year, the holiday season, the Christmas season. And yes, it's okay to say Christmas. This is the time that I think about trustees and all the games that reindeer and trustees play. Like opening up an asset case for $500 when the debtor owes $2,000 of taxes. Keeping a case open for 2 years just to see if the house goes up in value. Demanding turnover of a Stradivarius violin that says Sears and Roebuck on the neck. Or collecting non-exempt assets like a bowling ball, a 22-year-old lame horse. This is the time of year to show good cheer to debtors' counsel. You know, no one in law school ever thinks of writing a letter to their parents and says, you know, someday I'm going to represent broke people against an army of creditors, creditors' attorneys, the U.S. trustee, panel trustees, the IRS, and have a judge wonder, how did this person ever pass the bar? And if you're thinking that we make good money, think again. What's the difference between a pigeon and debtors' counsel? A pigeon can make a deposit on a Mercedes. 50,000 years ago, human beings developed speech. Sure, it was a lot of nods and grunts and whistling. In 2600 BCE, the Sumerians invented writing. In the 1700s, Congress introduced the postal system. Samuel Morse in 1830 introduced the telegraph. Today we communicate with Facebook and emails and web chat, but when it comes to communicating with trustees and sending one single document, a tax return, we have an array of protocols. Feliz Navidad. Well, moving on, criminologists would say folks with the most power in the criminal system, not the district attorneys, not the politicians, not judges, the police. Police who are the gatekeepers of the criminal system. In bankruptcy, debtors' counsel are the gatekeepers, not the UST, not the panel trustees, not the IRS, not the courts. Debtors' counsel protect the system. We're the ones who keep people on the straight and true. We're the ones who correct the course for those who would game the system. So the next time you see debtors' counsel in the hallway, give him or her a big hug. And keeping in the holiday spirit, these are a few of my Chapter 13 favorite objections to confirmation. Wanting turnover of the Social Security disability from the 5-year-old orphan.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Asking for a profit and loss statement from a guy who cleans pools seasonally. When hubby dies 3 years into the Chapter 13 plan, where should those insurance proceeds go? Fixing up the roof? Maybe paying for funeral expenses? How about shoring up the loss of income in the household? Nah, let's send it all over to the Chapter 13 trustee to pay to the debt buyers like Midland Funding and a guy named P. Scott Lowry. And lastly, when Congress had a sense the debtors were being taken advantage of by the mortgage industry and they passed 3002.1, that was supposed to be a shield for debtors to protect themselves against mortgage companies. But instead, the trustee uses it as a sword to get rid of debtors who are behind on their mortgage payments to Mr. Cooper. And Mr. Cooper doesn't care. More games that reindeer play. When the trustee asks for 6 months of bank statements, 3 months of wage statements, 4 years of tax returns, don't think of sending it in a Dropbox doc dump because it's too dangerous. Instead, send 20 separate emails and then wait for the objection to your fees because that job was administrative. Then we have the great circle jerk. Trustees hiring one another to file adversary actions for turnovers and fraudulent conveyances, preferences that churn fees like snowflakes and deliver tiny little gifts to the creditors. Then we have 341 meetings that run 30, 60, 90 minutes late. Perhaps if we didn't ask questions like, in your dog sitting business, do you have employees? Schadenfreude and the Yuletide season. There's something delicious about listening to pro se debtors explain their human foibles to judges and trustees, why they need to reaffirm a 2018 Ford F-150 fully loaded pickup truck with the automated tailgate, and if they don't, they'll lose their job. Yes, you only have contact with these folks for maybe 5 minutes of their lives, but try 5 years, spending half a decade with folks with these kind of questions. Strike that, make that 5 years and 3 months. You know it, I know it, everyone in this room knows it. Filing 15 cases a day, 200 a month, there's no way these debtors are meeting with the attorneys. And that's not quality work. and you trustees know it. But that office creates so many asset cases, no one is going to kill the golden goose. And have a Merry Christmas. And if you're uncomfortable saying Christmas, Lowe's is having a sale on holiday trees.
I want